Okay, so anyway, the domain, let's write it as minus infinity to minus 3 union minus 3 to 1 union 1 to infinity. Now we've got this function right here. We want to take its derivative and, well, we want to know where the derivative is equal to 0 or when the derivative does not exist. And those will be our critical points, as long as those points are inside of the domain. Okay, so we'll use the quotient rule here. Actually, I'm gonna take the derivative 2 different times, once with the quotient rule and once with the trick that you probably won't use a ton, but it's useful to see, especially if you're like into tricks. Okay, so we have y prime, so we're gonna take the derivative of the numerator, which is 1 times the denominator, minus the derivative of the denominator, which is 1 times the numerator. And then we have over x plus 3 squared, the denominator squared. So now we've got a bit of simplification. So the numerator is going to simplify to -2. And then the denominator, well, it stays equal to x plus 3 squared, right? So that's when we have y prime. So now notice that this y prime equals 0 has no solutions. And that's because if you've got like a function that's a fraction is equal to 0 when the numerator equals 0. It's a little more subtle than that. It's when the numerator equals 0 and the denominator does not equal 0. But anyway, you need the numerator to be 0. But look at that numerator. That numerator is always -2. That's never 0, right? Okay. And then y prime does not exist when x equals -3, because that makes the denominator equal to 0. So again, a fraction does not exist when the denominator equals 0 and the numerator does not equal 0. That's the subtle part. Okay, so anyway, now let's see. We've only got we only have one possibility for a critical point, and that's the point x equals -3, but that's not inside of the domain, right? So since that's not inside of the domain, there are in fact no critical points. So what are the critical points? So there are none. And I think the thing wants you to put does not exist or something like that. It tells you what to do when there are no critical points.